Would you like some tips on what you can do to maximize your weight loss on GLP-1 agonists like tirzepatide and semaglutide? Well, I've got 5 of them for you. My name is Dr. G, and I'm an internal medicine doctor in Hollywood, Florida. I specialize in weight loss management, lifestyle modifications, and diagnosis and treatment of chronic medical conditions. And I have 5 tips on how you can maximize your weight loss while you're on GLP-1 agonists like tirzepatide and semaglutide. You've decided to go ahead and take the plunge and start on GLP-1 agonist medications, and you're looking for what is going to be the game changer for me. I know you've already seen my video on the 11 things to avoid, but here are 5 things that I've seen through my reading and through treating multiple patients on GLP-1 agonist medications and helping through the lifestyle modifications that they need to do in order to maximize their weight loss. The first thing I highly recommend is to increase your intake of fruits and vegetables. Research consistently shows that Americans only eat about 9% of the fruit and only 10% or 10 to 12% of the vegetables that is recommended on a daily basis. I think most of us already know that we don't eat enough fruits and vegetables. The question becomes, while we are on medications like GLP-1 agonists, what are the fruit and vegetables? Which ones should we be taking into our body? The answer to that question in my practice is to eat the fruits and vegetables that are lower on the glycemic index and higher in fiber. So you're going to ask me now, what is a glycemic index? Grossly, without getting into the weeds of what it is, glycemic index basically means how quickly the food will drive up your blood sugars. Pretty simple. So some of the fruits that we recommend, or I recommend, that my patients or my clients eat are, apples, apricots, pears, plums, grapes are good, grapefruit juice, peaches, what else? Tangerines, tomato juice, prunes, pretty much all the berries, raspberries, strawberries, blackberries, cherries, and cranberries. These fruits are going to slowly increase your glucose numbers as you are intaking them into your body. So if you're diabetic, it's great fruits to eat versus any of the other ones I'm going to mention on the higher end of the glycemic index. And these are the ones that are going to work great with GLP-1 agonists like semaglutide and tirzepatide. They help you stay fuller longer. Great snacks in between meals to keep your blood sugars regulated and up so you don't drop blood sugars and feel sluggish and stay on the medication through to your goal. So the longer you're on the medication, the more it's in your body and you're not feeling the sluggish effects that some people get because they're dropping blood sugars and they don't really know what to do. They're not getting guidance on what to eat in order to keep your blood sugar safe and, in the range where you can go ahead and get the benefits of actually working out through a workout and not, quitting because you lost energy. So spreading out these servings of these fruits, you can have almost 3 to 4 servings throughout the day. Not only provides you the energy, it also provides filling of your stomach a little bit longer, so you eat a little less, and also keeps your blood sugar regulated. Some more fruits that are a little bit higher on their glycemic index, and you have to be careful because the more you intake these fruits into your body, the more they kind of counteract with the semaglutide and the tirzepatide. And also, if you're diabetic, like I said before, it's going to drive up your blood sugar a little bit more. But these are like moderate glycemic index fruits. Talking about bananas, more sweeter grapes, mangoes, raisins, figs, kiwi, oranges. These are fruits that you can take them into your body and, you can add them into your diet, but be careful. Don't want to overdo it on these because now you're getting closer to a higher glycemic index. And when we say higher, we're talking about 55. There's a number system on there, and 55 and lower is what we're looking for. And these are closer to like 53, 54. So yeah, do these a lot less than the others that I mentioned. What you should stay away from are the high glycemic fruits. We're talking about watermelon, pineapple, ripe bananas, and dried dates are also one of the ones that are higher on the glycemic index. So what veggies should you be doing? Typically, the low glycemic index vegetables are the ones that are non-starchy. And I mentioned 3 of these in my things to avoid because of the gas production, but they're great in fiber content because they're higher in fiber, and they're also good in the glycemic index. The asparagus, broccoli, and cauliflower. I mentioned those in the 11 things to avoid only because the gastric transit or the intestinal transit of food is prolonged, and in many people it can promote gas production, which is uncomfortable or embarrassing to some folks. But if you can tolerate them, I guess you can go ahead and just take them into your body for the benefits of the glycemic index. Other non-starchy vegetables that are low on the glycemic index, along with the three I just mentioned, are artichokes and avocado. You've got celery, your cucumbers, your eggplant, your peppers, your tomatoes, your okra, your onions, spinach, and kale is on there. Zucchini, turnips are also on the non-starchy side of the vegetables. The vegetables that are now on the moderate side of the glycemic index would include your beets, your carrots, your sweet potatoes, your yams, and corn on the cob. Now, little caveat about the sweet potatoes. Awesome substitute for folks who like to have a baked potato, and also a form of a complex carbohydrate. So yes, it's higher on the glycemic index, but I think that's one that you would like to make an exception because it can fill you up, and also it's harder for your body to, your body takes more energy to break it down into its simplest form in order to get the energy from it. So there's a trade-off on the sweet potato, I think, and in fact that you could probably get away with doing that a little bit more, even though it's on the higher end of the glycemic index. That's basically what you want to do as far as introducing more fruits and veggies, and which ones you want to do when you are on semaglutide and tirzepatide, or if you're just simply on a weight loss journey or a lifestyle modification journey and want to change your nutrition. The second tip is to go ahead and identify foods that are non-inflammatory or actually decrease inflammation in the body. Now, this is a very important concept with weight loss and also in controlling your diabetes if you're on these medications for diabetes control. Inflammation, I liken it to a fire. If you have a 5-alarm fire and you've got a raging fire, it's pretty obvious what's happening here. The building is, is falling apart. You got to douse it with water, or you got to take care of this immediately because this house is not going to make it. Pretty obvious. But if you got a smoldering fire, like a little small, a little something in the corner that's just burning and it's burning and it's burning, it's maybe a little bit of smoke, but it doesn't look like, we don't have to call the fire department right away. We can handle this on our own. This is what's going on with chronic conditions, such as diabetes, metabolic disorders, hypertension, cardiovascular disease is one of them. Chronic kidney disease is a chronic condition that can cause chronic inflammation. Obesity is a chronic disease that has chronic inflammation. And where does this inflammation come from? Many places, but one of them is from our diet. We introduce processed foods, refined foods, and these things we bring into our body, into our gut, and our gut sees it as foreign, and over time slowly makes these smoldering fires of chronic inflammation in our body that we don't readily recognize, and we don't know that there's this reaction from our immune system that's trying to combat something our body sees as foreign. And it's releasing all of these chemicals, and it's releasing all these hormones and other substances that are called cytokines that are coming and trying to fix and put out this small smoldering fire, but all the time. So finding out what foods and identifying pro-inflammatory foods and removing them from your diet, and then introducing anti-inflammatory foods into your diet is key. So what are some of the major inflammatory or pro-inflammatory foods that we eat on a regular basis? And we probably don't even know it. You've got red meat and processed meats. You got refined carbohydrates and refined foods, such as white bread and pasta and snacks and cakes that are processed, snack foods, anything that has added sugar to it in the process or making of the food, or the juice or sodas or bottled drinks. And finally, deep fried foods such as French fries, donuts, fried chicken wings. These things are pro-inflammatory to our bodies, and we constantly are trying to put out this unquote fire. Now, many people are able to take these foods into their bodies and not really have a reaction or such a smoldering fire, like I said, a chronic inflammatory process that is as bad as others. And that is why some people end up having diabetes or end up having issues with obesity or issues with hypertension or whatever other process that comes from this inflammatory process that's been going on and over and over and over and on and on and on in your body over years and years, and other folks can, be just fine. They don't have that hyper response. They don't have that chronic inflammatory response. So they can absolutely take in these foods into their body. But it's a good idea to just go ahead and remove it, because who wants to find out? At least don't do them in excess. I'm not going to say you can't do them ever again, but it cannot be a staple in your diet. So what are some of the supplements that I recommend that you add into your body, or substances that you can add into your body? You can put into your food if you like. Turmeric is a great anti-inflammatory supplement that you can add into your nutrition. Ginger, adding ginger into your nutrition, either by ginger shots or adding ginger into your food, or you can even buy ginger in the pill form. Omega fatty acids, or omega oils, are a great way to decrease inflammation as well. These can also be bought in the pill form as a supplement, or you can just increase your consumption of fish and get the fish oils there. Those are 3 great places to promote the decrease of inflammation into your body. But the best way is probably just to go ahead and avoid, as much as you can, the pro-inflammatory foods that I mentioned just a moment ago. The third tip that I would like to let you know about, that we use here in our office a lot. We figured this out as time is going on about, and it's not anything scientific, but I call it stacking doses, or basically dividing the dose over the week. What we have is patients who have either increased nausea, or maybe they have constipation as a consequence of increasing the dose when they're not having appropriate weight loss. That's, the decrease in hunger effect that they should be having with the medication. So it's time to increase the dose. But then all of a sudden, they have a little bit of nausea, they have, more dragging than they would like to stay on the medication. So we split the dose. So let's say they were on, tirzepatide, 5 milligrams. We went up from 2.5 to 5 milligrams. And at the 5 milligram dose, they start to have this feeling of, dragging. So what we do is we split the dose for 2.5 and 2.5. Give them 2.5 on day 1 and wait about 3 to 4 days, and give them the other 2.5 on the 4th day. So now you don't really have all 10 at the same time, because now your first dose is coming down. You're halfway through that dose, and now we give you the second dose. So you have some overlapping there. So for a portion of the week, maybe 2 to 3 days, you will have, increasing of the 2 doses to a level where it's more than 2.5, but not quite 5 all at the same time, if it makes sense, right? Then we get closer to increasing the satiety, or the fullness effect, which is what we're really after here in order to quiet down food noise. So what we're trying to do is maximize the amount of medication, decrease the side effects, but also keep patients who want to be on the medication for a little bit longer, who need to be on it while they're making the lifestyle changes. So now I'm giving them the chance to have a little bit of a higher dose than they were on before, quiet down the food noise, and continue to figure out what their actual nutrition and activity levels need to be in order to get going on their, or not just going, but sometimes reaching their weight goals. So very important that what's written in the indication of the medication, but you're getting the same dose per week. So instead of every 7 days, I would be dosing some of these patients, not very many patients, but this is for the patients who do have an issue when we go up in the next dose, to go ahead and stack doses. So 2.5 and then 2.5 at 4 days later, you've got your 10 for the week. So 3 days later, we would give you another 2.5, and then 4 days later, another 2.5. So every 2 weeks, you've actually gotten your 5 milligrams per week. And then after that, if we can go up, then we would split the next dose. We would, we could go up to 10 milligrams and split from 5 and 5 and do the same thing if need be. So stacking doses is another tip to promote tolerating the medication, staying close to, if not on your schedule for the amount of medication you need in your body in order to promote keeping the food noise down, promoting all the other secondary benefits of the medications, such as fat loss and insulin sensitivity, so that you can get the medication and keep the medication on board for a longer period of time in order to get everything together. Number 4 is something that we don't talk about a lot, but it's absolutely a tip and something that you should do in order to maximize your weight loss in general, not just on GLP-1 agonists, and that's maximizing your sleep. Studies consistently show that we get less and less sleep in this country and other countries, I'm sure around the world, developed countries in general. We just don't sleep enough. And how much sleep are you supposed to be getting? Studies say we're supposed to be getting between 7 and 9 hours of sleep a night. Wow. The way we work and the way, social and family obligations, the way that happens, life be life. It seems like we don't have time in order to sleep. But when you're on this weight loss journey, when you're on your lifestyle modification journey, it is absolutely paramount to get, at least 7 hours of sleep a night. This is when your body regenerates. This is when your mind regenerates. This is when your mind, body, soul gets time to recalibrate, and your muscle mass gets to repair itself from all your workouts. So it is absolutely imperative that we, find a great sleep cycle that works for us that includes 7 hours of sleep. There are many studies out there that have correlated, weight loss or weight gain with proper or improper sleep. So what I'm saying is if you have improper sleep, it can promote weight gain. And then there are studies that show the other way around. Weight gain can then push into improper sleep and causes vicious cycles. So very important that sleep is also taken into account on your weight loss journey and your lifestyle modification journey in general. Because of course, when we come off these medications, when we figured out the formula, we want something that's sustainable. So figuring out what time we need to go to bed and what time we need to wake up and how many hours we need to get average per night. Of course, there's going to be things that happen. There's lifestyle, there's social obligations, there are family obligations, there's work obligations, and there are going to be times where you can only get 6. But for the most part, you should be aiming to get 7 hours of sleep. If you can get a little bit more, right? 8.5 will be a sweet spot. And the last tip, while you are on these GLP-1 agonist medications, and the thing that you should do to maximize your weight loss and keep it off, is to use these medications as a tool to get your lifestyle modifications in order. The things that you should be eating, eliminating the things that you shouldn't, and adding to your nutrition, toolbox, the foods that you should be eating in the right proportions, finding out why you come to the dinner table. Why are you at this place right now with this food in front of you? Is it because you're hungry? Or is it because you're sad? Or is it because you're angry? Or is it because you're bored? Or is it because you are depressed? Whatever it is, figure out what human emotion has brought you to this moment. And if it is hunger, then it makes sense. And if it's not, then maybe it doesn't make sense, right? You shouldn't be eating because you are happy. You shouldn't be eating because you're sad. You shouldn't be eating because you're bored. These human emotions will not be satisfied by this food that is in front of you. You will absolutely get endorphins released, but it is not going to help that emotion at all. So it is better to identify and confront that emotion and figure out what is it that's going on here? Why did I make this plate of food? Why did I go and buy this? And why am I sitting in front of it right now? Before you consume it and decide, okay, well, this is not appropriate. You figure out for yourself what it is. But the medications do a great job of quieting food noise. So most times, you're not as hungry as you would have been being off medication. So if you find yourself going to the refrigerator more and more and more, it's out of a bad habit and you're not really hungry. Why are you here? How did I come in? Why is this the 10th time I'm opening the refrigerator on a Saturday? I'm bored on Saturdays. I got to get out the house. Let's go do something else. Go do something with the family. Go do something with some friends. Go do something alone. Go meditate at the beach. Go take a walk. Go to the park. Get out of the house. Clean up. I don't know, but food is not going to help your boredom. So lifestyle modifications and then activities. As you quiet down the food noise, you have more opportunity to, work on the other little things that you may need to work on. And mainly for most of us, that means increasing and optimizing your workout schedule and the things that you find out, the things that you do like to do with your body to burn some calories there in the places you want to firm up and get your muscles right and get the body right and be the best version of yourself that you want to be with the right lifestyle that you can maintain for the long term, especially when you come off the medications. I know that many people like to promote staying on these medications forever for weight loss. I don't think that's the proper approach. I think that these medications are absolutely positively a great opportunity to use them as a tool to aid us with the great concept of lifestyle modifications, which can help with multiple disease processes outside of obesity, including diabetes, including some cancers, including hypertension, including osteoarthritis and arthritis in your body. Many conditions have a basis in a lifestyle modifications and how we poorly treat our bodies over time that beget these problems that we have. So I absolutely think that these GLP-1 agonists definitely work a lot better if you were to incorporate these 5 things I just told you to get you into a better space from a health standpoint, from a mental standpoint, and from a place where you can use your body for whatever you want to use it for a longer period of time into, you know, the 7th and 8th decade of your life, like I've seen across the board with a lot of patients in the literature and a lot of patients across the world who have a better hold on their lifestyle modifications with the things they eat, the types of food they eat, the type of nutrition they take, and the types of activities there are. Many studies show that these people get to live a longer, happier, healthier life. So I want that for you. And if you're jumping on the GLP-1 agonist treatment plan, I think that these 5 things will get you the maximum benefit while you're on it. So if you'd like some lifestyle coaching directly from me and you'd like more personal tips and any tips that speak directly to your situation, go ahead and comment coaching down below to get some more information, and I will see you soon.